Hello. I'm going to talk about good-heartedness, which is the 23rd of the 48 Ways to Wisdom. I'm going to refer to Noah Weinberg initially, Zecher Tzaddik Levracha, of course. He talks about a person having two hearts. One part wants to do the right thing. One heart wants to do the right thing, and while the other heart wants to do uh, what they feel like, what it feels like doing, or what it prefers to be selfish, basically. Um, that has to do with our desires. Whereas when we want to do the right thing, that has to do with what our soul wants. And we have to strive to do what our soul wants and not necessarily what our body prefers to do. Of course, we can elevate what our body wants um, with kedusha in the right setting, but that of course plays into what our soul really wants. And not always knowing what our soul wants, we have to refer always to 613 mitzvot, and that will guide us in the right direction. Um, so I also want to refer to a book by Rabbi Abraham Twersky, Visions of the Fathers, lent to me by Rabbi Feigenbaum, and refer to Perek Beis, Pasuk Yud Gimel, where Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is talking to his five disciples, and he asks them, go out and discern the proper path to which man should cling. So, first of all, the words are tze'u, go out. It's an interesting expression. And ezohi derech tova. It's the good way. And first we have Rabbi Eliezer saying a good eye. Rabbi Yeshua then says a good friend. Rabbi Yossi says a good neighbor. And Rabbi Shimon says one who considers the Akom Medid. Then we have Rabbi Elazar who says a good heart. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says, I prefer the words of Rabbi Eliezer ben Arach to your words, for your words are included in his. So a good heart encompasses all those other qualities that the other disciples had mentioned. Now, one question. Why does it say go out? And the answer to that is because we have to go out of ourselves to find the answer to this. And that's what he challenges them to do. And basically, our bodily desires distort our judgment, and then much in the same way that a judge, you can't offer him a bribe, and the reason is because you're going to distort his judgment. So we have to dig down deep and find out what is really important and what is the true good. So Rabbi Elimach of Dinov also brings out an interesting point where he says that the Torah scholars, all their information they got was from the Torah. So they went straight to the Torah, and they looked for, the question was, what is good? And they looked for in the Torah where was the first time that the word good was found, tov, and that would be in Pasuk Daled, in Bereshit, where it says God saw the light that it was good, tov. So based on the light, they each made an interpretation, everything preceding the beginning of the creation of light, and they made an interpretation as to what is good based on that. So Rabbi Eliezer states the obvious. He says that light enables a person to see well, hence a beneficent eye, or someone who looks at things favorably. Then Rabbi Yeshua noted that at creation, light and darkness were intermixed, attached to each other. Hence, Tov refers to companionship, a good friendship. Rabbi Yossi pointed out that light was then separated from the darkness, and they each had a separate existence. But they were always close to one another, with one taking over where the other one left off, kind of like a good neighbor. And then we have Rabbi Shimon saying that the Midrash says that light of creation was so powerful that it enabled the person to see from one end of the universe to the other. Imagine that. You would have to have pretty good vision for that. But the light was so powerful. And from that, he infers that light, tov, is the ability to foresee the future and the outcome of the choices that we make. But Rabbi Elazar ben Arach says something a little differently. He notes that tov is the 33rd word in the Torah, 32 words preceding that word. And what's the gematria of 32? Leiv. That's why he says Leiv, the heart, is the true good. And that's why all the other comments are encompassed by that, because they're all found in the previous 32 words, and they're all found in the heart. Okay, one other thing, a couple other things actually. Bereshit starts with a base, of course, and the 5 books of Torah end off with a lamed. The last letter in the Torah is a lamed, and if we put that backwards, it's leiv. So basically, it shows how all-encompassing the heart is. It encompasses the entire Torah. And just my thought, and why is it backwards? Why is it not Lamed and then base? Because you have to learn the whole Torah in order to have the Lamed, and then you go back to the beginning and you have your base. And last thing I want to point out is in the Shema, as we all know, the heart is mentioned several times. First of all, you should love Hashem with all your heart. Let these words be that I command you today be upon your heart, not just in your mind, but in your heart. You have to internalize things. Take heed lest your heart be seduced. That, of course, would be in the realm of the bad direction that the heart can go into. So we should not go in that direction, of course. And then in the paragraph of tzitzis, it says, "V'lo turu acharei levavchem." You shall see the tzitzis, and you will remember the commandments, that you will not stray after your heart. Once again, I mention. And of course, the commandments, the 613 commandments, that's what will keep us in line with having a good heart and making right decisions in life. Hopefully we can all do that. Thank you.